Summertime is around the corner. I'm not really happy about that because I don't like the heat. However, I do love the fragrances that I might wear during the summer. Not only do I love the fresh, citrusy, aromatic, uplifting, and refreshing fragrances I might wear during the daytime, I also love the still somewhat fresh but sexy, maybe slightly sweeter and richer fragrances that I might get away with wearing in the nighttime when I want to be classy. That's what this video is all about. Classiness. Who wants to be classy? You want to be classy. It's not a question. You want to be classy. Your mother wants you to be classy. Don't do it for me. Do it for her. We did a video recently, you can check it out here, about 10 classy fragrances to wear during the summer that was catered towards fresher options, ones to wear during the daytime. And this time we're talking about the evening, and I'm featuring my good friends at FragranceBuy.ca. All the fragrances I'm going to talk about can be found in their expansive and incredible catalog. 2 of them they sent to me, a few of the others I bought myself from them, and some of them I've received from other sources. So you don't need me to vouch for them. You probably already bought from them and realized that they have some of the best prices that you'll find for any fragrance anywhere. So all the links down below will be going straight to Fragrance Buy if you want to check them out. So we got 9 fragrances to get through. Let's dive right into it. First one up here is coming from Xerjoff. They call it Udin. This is a special combination of ingredients to create something that is classy and works day or night. There is a citrusy brightness. Lemon is primarily what I get as the citrus quality, bringing a freshness, bringing a juiciness, but there is an immediate sweet, boozy quality and a warmth in here. There's some vanilla, adds a creaminess. There is that booziness, brings a certain intoxicating quality to it. The coffee adds some warmth along with some other warmer notes. So it has that perfect blend that I love in a fragrance. It has the fresh brightness and it has the dark richness. Put those together, you have a beautiful fragrance for the nighttime, done with quality here. Might remind you of a couple of other fragrances, stuff like Chanel Allure Homme Edition Blanche, but this is way more nuanced than that, I would say. Might even remind you of Chanel Allure Homme, the original. Maybe a blend of those 2 fragrances, but either way, it's done with Xerjoff's quality. It's also done with their performance, if you're concerned about that. That is Udin. Up next is a new fragrance to my collection. I've been getting to know this. This came to me from my friends at Fragrance Buy, and wow, I love this stuff. It's not the most unique fragrance I've ever smelled. It is a designer scent, but for being a designer, there's quality here. There's personality here. From Brioni, my first Brioni. This one is new, I think as of last year. It's called Eau de Parfum Intense. So it is a flanker to the Eau de Parfum. Oh my gosh, sexy, classy stuff here. You have juicy, slightly sharp apple, really bringing a joyful feeling to the opening. It's fruity, it's sweet, but it's not necessarily bright. There is a little bit of an aromatic quality. There is some spice, there is some citruses, but you mostly get kind of a warmth and rich, almost tonka bean. Vanilla-like sweetness. And you get some oud as it dries down. And there's a touch of ambroxan in there to kind of meld everything together in a modern way. So it will have that familiar contemporary feeling of a lot of mainstream designer fragrances, which makes it very wearable and makes it much more easy to understand for you and those around you. Classy. Like this bottle. This is good stuff. I love the magnetic cap. I love the detailing. You'll see it in the B-roll. I love quality through and through, even for a designer fragrance. It's done well here. Definitely worth checking out, definitely worth wearing for this occasion. This one's going to be a little bit more for the mature personalities out there. Those of you who carry yourself with a little bit more sophistication and refinement, this is for you. Tom Ford Beau de Jour. Now, I'll be honest, I've been talking about Tom Ford Fougère d'Argent a whole lot lately because I've been loving that stuff lately. And I think I even like it a little bit more than Beau de Jour, which I really enjoy. I've loved this one for quite some time. This is kind of an old school classic fougere styling of a fragrance here. It will remind you of something like Zino Davidoff from the mid 80s, but it's done with more oomph here, with more presence and perhaps maybe a little bit more modernity, but not a whole lot. It will smell mature to most guys. Lots of lavender and woods in here. Very aromatic, but it becomes dry quite dry, smooth, even a little creamy, sweet in that coumarin tonka bean type of way, almost barbershop-like, but that mossy, woody lavender really takes over here, giving it this old school, clean, gentleman feel. And it's quite powerful. A lot of people would not wear this in the summer, myself included, unless the sun is down. When the sun is down and I want to be classy, this is one I would definitely consider. Definitely try it if you haven't already, especially if you like old school scents. Check it out. For those of you romantics out there, the confident guys who are not afraid of rose, because you already know that ladies like rose on men. You already figured that out. You are the ones I'm talking to. If you're still afraid of rose, then I'm also talking to you too. Listen. Don't be afraid. Check out Déclaration d'un Soir from Cartier. One of the classiest mainstream rose fragrances that you can wear that doesn't really smell mainstream. It smells quite unique, definitive. It has a personality to it, undeniably tied to the iconic Déclaration line, which was started in the 1990s with the original Déclaration. This is primarily dry spices, woods, and rose. It's a fresher rose, a little bit sweet and jammy, but there is a nice, beautiful freshness here. Like I said, it smells romantic, but still masculine. Now, granted, some of you will not like this. I've seen some very odd feedback about this fragrance. Some guys have said it smells like Wendy's barbecue sauce. I haven't spent enough time with Wendy's barbecue sauce to corroborate that, but all I can say is that when I smell this, I don't smell food. I smell spices. I smell rose. I smell freshness, a masculinity that is confident. That is Déclaration d'un Soir from Cartier. Guys, look out. This one here, not a cheap fragrance, definitely smells expensive, and it is. From Roja Parfum, this is a Midsummer Dream. This is kind of an odd fragrance. It is citrusy and spicy, but you have a lot of elemi resin. Elemi brings this slightly piney, lemony, slightly sweet, tree sappy feel that might sound weird, but it simply works here. It kind of fills out the spaces and gaps of the fragrance, giving it a little bit more density. And in the center of that density is some beautiful rose, some beautiful orris butter, also adding a bit of a buttery, creamy feel. And supporting all of that, moss, oak moss, and woods like vetiver and cedar wood, bringing a dry, woody groundedness to the fragrance. So ultimately it smells a little bit fresh, but not cooling or anything like that. There is this kind of dense, almost creamy, again, piney, tree sappy feel with some sweetness, a little bit of a floral rounding with woods backing it up. And it all comes off a little bit powdery, just a touch, which is why I would save it for the nighttime, because heat can often bring out powderiness even more, especially under the sun. But when you have a nice warm or semi-warm breeze outside, oh my gosh, classy stuff. Wear this going out to maybe a play or a show of some kind, maybe even a lounge, something classy, something where you're not really going to be moving and dancing and all that. If you're going to have more of a chill, classy night, this is one to check out. One of the most special designer fragrances in my collection, one that achieves simplicity without being basic. Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir Eau de Parfum. It's mostly musky. It's round, it's smooth. There's a warmth here from amber and musk. It's almost cottony in a way. In its smoothness, it's so silky. Silky is the word to describe it. There is a little bit of a sweet, juicy spiciness. There might be some mandarin orange or some kind of juicy citrus. There is a little bit of a freshness. It kind of almost has the feeling of a blue fragrance. There's a cleanliness here, but it's kind of a fresh, sweet warmth with a cottony, smooth, sexy musk that smells classy. I hope that sums it up for you. I've been talking about it for a while and I'll keep doing so. Check it out. Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir Eau de Parfum. Oh my gosh. I'm going to talk about a fragrance from Nishan that fragrance buy sent to me while I requested it because it looked really interesting. I can almost guarantee that 9 out of 10 of you have never heard of this fragrance because I had never heard of it until I looked it up. This came out last year, 2022, kind of slipped under the radar, and it's called Papilifico. If you're asking me what that means,
I don't know.
But what I can tell you about this fragrance, I could explain it's aromatic, it's woody and ambery and resinous. There's a lot going on here, but the best way I can describe this, and this still may not help all of you, so I apologize, but if I'm going to just try to be as practical as I can. If you guys have smelled Déclaration Toxic from Micallef, or if you've heard me describe that, which I've described it many times on my channel. If you haven't heard me describe it, go back to some older videos, maybe do a search on my channel, it will come up. There is this kind of fresh, spicy, warm, spicy, sweet playfulness, but with edge that Déclaration Toxic has. This takes that vibe. It has a little bit more of an aromatic feel. So there's almost a fougere-like feel, which makes it a little fresher overall, making it better for the summer. So this is almost like the classier summertime version of Déclaration Toxic. However, I would still reserve this for the evening because of just the nature of this personality. It screams more classy than just going out fun in the sun, and it's pretty dang strong, which you would expect from Nishan. So I don't want this to be under the sun, baking and just emanating and literally suffocating all the trees, all the hummingbirds, all the flowers, and all the people. I'm not interested in that. It's a strong fragrance. I think nighttime, especially with the breeze being outside, this stuff is kind of intoxicating. It is a little mature. It's like slightly more mature, again, classier than Déclaration Toxic, but still very approachable, but definitely niche. Not everyone's gonna love it, but I am obsessed with this stuff. Can't wait to get to know it more. That is Papilifico from Nishan. Such a fun word to say.
What?
I don't know. Yes. Sauvage. Elixir. The only Sauvage that I truly endorse because it doesn't smell like young boy shower gel. Nothing wrong with smelling like young boy shower gel, but I'm not interested in smelling like young boy shower gel. This stuff is so sophisticated, but sexy, all at the same time. Dark fresh. There's a dark freshness here. Lots of spices, cinnamon, cardamom, nutmeg, just beautiful, fresh and warm spice happening with some sweetness. There's almost a resinous feel, and there is a lot of woods grounding it, but in the heart is this fougere like barbershop feel. Lots of lavender in the heart. I've seen a lot of guys say that they're confused that I say this fragrance has a freshness. And I'm confused by your confusion. This fragrance has a freshness. For those of you who don't think so, smell it again. Don't smell it up close like that. It's gonna be way intense. You're gonna get a lot of spices and woods up close. But in the air, tell me if it comes off a little fresh. It carries the freshness of the original DNA. And it's here, but it's dense, it's rich, it's purified. And it is so freaking strong. It's one of the strongest fragrances in my collection, so I don't spray much, and I don't wear this during the day, during the summer. No, that is nuclear war. Nighttime only, classy occasions only. I like to dress it in dark colors, and I do just a few sprays, and the vibe is right. Sauvage Elixir. Final fragrance. This is an all year round scent, truly. It is a niche fragrance that smells a little mainstream, to be honest, but comes across very easy to wear. It comes across super likable, and it comes across with good quality. Kajal Ohm 2. This is a favorite of many of you, I would say. I would say if there's anyone that doesn't like this fragrance, it's because they were expecting something more different. I was the same way when I first got my nose on it. I was kind of scratching my head like, this smells like it could be a designer fragrance. However, the more I wore it, I realized, you know, the quality here is great. It's masterfully done. There's like peach, there's citruses, there's lavender. Honestly, it doesn't smell exactly like this, but if you can imagine Creed's original Santal, it's kind of along those lines, except maybe not as clean laundry smelling as that. But there is this like sandalwood, creamy, woody smoothness to this fruity, spicy, slightly fresh profile. Smells great on a date, smells pretty classy. I think the quality of the scent really helps to bring a classiness, especially if you don't overspray it, it will be classy. I can easily recommend it if you're looking for a niche fragrance that has good quality but is easy to wear. That is Kajal Ohm 2. I want to know what you think of these fragrances. If you've tried them, let me know down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.